Hey guys, Matt McKeever here with,
Jeff Weibo.
and welcome to the Capital Go Show, February 2nd, Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Actually,
Welcome
first
to
of
the
all,
Cashflow Go Show.
yeah, welcome to the Capital Go Show. If you guys aren't following Jeff on Instagram, you missed out on quite the Instagram story today. It must have been like 20 Instagram stories, I think. We're also trying out a new microphone right now, so if this mic isn't working, jump in the comment section and let Randomly Interesting, our producer, know.
Yeah.
Because you guys keep bitching about the audio, so we're trying to mix it up a little bit.
It sounds better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hopefully that makes you happy. Are you happy now? Otherwise, Jeff was going to say jump into the super chat,
Yeah.
and we'll spend thousands of dollars on audio
Yeah.
equipment.
If you're gonna complain about audio, keep throwing us some dollars. That'd be nice.
But yeah, so anyways, we thought we'd do a slightly different approach to this Cashflow Go just because we grinded really hard in January and we're going to double the effort in February. So we just kind of want to catch you guys up on what we've been up to. It's been a lot.
It's a tiring week so far.
So it feels like we've been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across southwestern Ontario this week.
Yeah, so like we've been to Windsor, Kitchener, Cambridge, downtown Toronto, Sarnia. It's a lot to cover.
And we hosted a party in London this week.
Yeah.
So we were like never at our house.
Ever, yeah. So, first things first, last week we did our very first Cashflow Go meetup. That was in Windsor, or 2 weeks ago, I forget the time. But essentially, we did a Cashflow Go meetup there, met some really awesome people, in particular Matt and Cassidy. And so they're real estate investor, it's real estate investor and real estate agent couple, real power couple, I would say. And fantastic story, they're only like 24 years
they're young
old.
guys.
They're so young.
So no
Everyone's
excuse.
so goddamn young these days. I thought we were supposed to be the young guns.
No, they call us old. now.
Right? I know.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
make you feel like, what the hell did I do when I was
Right?
20?
And you're like, I thought I was the guy that worked hard. But anyways, like they've just been crushing it. I'm not sure whether Matt did, but Cassidy literally dropped out to the university in order to become a real estate investor. She went to like one Rich Dad Poor Dad seminar and they got hooked.
That's
they got
it.
the real estate bug,
Right.
and they've been grinding ever since. And they've built up quite the portfolio at this point, and they're doing some really interesting stuff. And so the reason I'm bringing up their story so much is we also have a big announcement. And so that announcement is we have a full-time cameraman now.
Yeah.
And because we got a full-time cameraman, we're just like 10xing the content now. So Matt and Cassidy, starting, let's call it a day or two from now, they're going to be doing daily videos in February with our cameraman. We're also going to be doing daily videos with, well, maybe not daily, but regular videos with Matt Pichet out of Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge market. And so actually, speaking of Kitchener-Waterloo, we got the Cashflow Go meetup coming up February 6th.
Yeah, Tuesday
So-
night.
You can find that on meetup.com, or you can just join the Cashflow Go Facebook group for Kitchener and jump in there. Jeff will definitely be there. I'm pretty sure I'll be there. If not, I'm going to be in Windsor at another meetup. We're trying to be everywhere at
guys,
once.
so-
We need to figure out cloning so that we can get this under control. But otherwise, Wednesday of this week was the GTA Cashflow Go meetup. That actually an amazing turnout. So thank you if you guys are watching this live and you came out to the Cashflow Go GTA meetup. Really appreciate it.
We had about like 9 people,
10
something
people,
like that.
yeah, and it was
For the
great.
first one, it was great.
And like some very sharp individuals. Talked a lot of real estate, but other things as well. Talked about pot stocks
Yeah.
and cryptocurrency was very popular, and definitely real estate. One of the guys was very bullish on condos in Toronto, so that was an interesting perspective because that's almost the polar opposite of kind of my perspective. So
Yeah.
it was neat to kind of get the counter argument to why he felt so strongly about the condo market in Toronto. And if you guys are watching this, you live in the GTA, jump in the comment section, let Randomly Interesting know what are your thoughts about the condo market. Are you bullish? Are you scared? Are you don't give a shit?
And for the Toronto meetings, we will be back for sure on March the 2nd in Northern Toronto. And also, Mitt CPA was asking if you guys wanted to do one in February, just hit him up. And you guys can have one without us. But we'll be there on March 2nd at the Hilton, just next door to the Pearson Convention Center on the Saturday night. I'll make that event in the page, but I haven't yet.
It's definitely the second.
2nd or 3rd, whatever that
Okay.
Saturday is.
Yeah, it might even be the fourth. I feel like isn't it the third, fourth, fifth? But anyways, time. It's
Right in the calendar. What's the first Saturday in March? Somebody.
Yeah.
First
Somebody-
Saturday is the third.
Third.
Okay.
It's the third night. So
Third.
okay.
That's wrong. Otherwise, yeah. So in addition to all the Cashflow Go meetups, we actually just held our very first cryptocurrency meetup here in London for 2018, and that was actually something
We
special.
got introduced to what? It's almost like 20 people I didn't know.
Yeah.
They were all to me experts.
And we would have probably had 30 people throughout the night come and go.
Yeah.
And so it was really amazing. Like a huge cast of characters with all different levels of experience. We had shout out to Alex, the CEO of UBEC. Every single time I can hear him talk, I want to listen because I don't absorb all of the information, but I try and absorb as much as possible. In addition to that, we had I think it was Michael from one of the directors from CoinSquare. Which is like an exchange out of Toronto, so that was cool. Ryan Price, who's got a very interesting project related to Ethereum. It's going to be, I think it's kind of secret, but I'm very excited to announce that on my channel. We're going to have him on my channel at some point, and we'll discuss what this Ethereum project he's doing. I think it's very exciting. It's very cool that this stuff is going on in London, Ontario, right? You think
are you allowed to talk about your
the
London,
ATM?
Ontario?
Yeah. So if you've been really watching deep on my YouTube channel, you know that I've announced that we bought an ATM, a crypto ATM. It's supposed to be here in about 3-4 weeks. So very excited for that. It'll be, unless someone beats us to the punch, it'll be
Shouldn't
the
it be
third
here a lot
ATM.
quicker? Like,
There's such demand for this shit, man. Like we're probably lucky to even get one in February. But yeah, it was so cool with the cryptocurrency meetup. And so you guys constantly hear me talking about how important it is to be networking all the time. Networking is just such a powerful tool. Honestly, the thing with networking is once someone knows kind of what you're trying to accomplish, they can help you out on your behalf, right? It's like having an army of people that know what your priorities are, that know what you're trying to do, and they're going to help you.
and even during the Toronto cash flow meetup,
Mm-hmm.
the Toronto guys were a little like, "Okay, where are you guys? What's going on?" And then within like 5 minutes, everybody's just talking business.
Yeah, once they realized that you're an authentic person, that we weren't trying to sell them on an MLM or
Yeah.
some sort of shitty course or trading business cards immediately, once they see that you're an authentic person, it resonates. As Dylan McLaughlin's always saying, it's real recognizes real. So yeah. Otherwise, though, like these guys know nothing about cryptocurrency compared to everyone else that came out to the meetup, and yet we hosted it.
We got to not talk.
I know it was such a change for you, and it'd be a change for you guys too, not hearing us talk because all we do is talk. But like that's something that's so powerful. Like when we do a lot of these real estate networking things, we often find ourselves having the same conversation over and over again because beginners kind of want to ask us questions and get an idea, and they just want to get over the fundamentals.
Mhm.
And we're getting pretty good at regurgitating the fundamentals. But what's interesting with the cryptocurrency meetup is we're just sponges, just absorbing, right? And yet, we held the cryptocurrency meetup, no real experience with cryptocurrency. Jeff owns $40 in Bitcoin.
30
I own
today now.
30.
Lost 25%.
Those hackers are gonna be on you, man.
But remember, guys, we always tell you guys make a meetup in your city, right? Like,
Mhm.
but you might say, "Oh, I'm not a real estate expert." We aren't.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency
Well, and how many
experts.
people like DM us are like, man, I wish I had the community in London, Ontario.
Yeah.
That community didn't exist until we decided to make it exist.
Mhm.
We just like forced it into
And
existence.
if you watched any of the lives on Matt's and I think on mine this week as well, my channel, did you guys see the spread that we had going on here? We kind of hosted a pretty good
Mhm.
party, so and
Yeah.
we got a lot of good feedback from the guys.
It's that classic Gary Vee, jab, 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 right hook,
We're
right?
just giving away whatever we can do to like make it all come together.
I think it's really important to give until it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, give until you really feel it, right? Because why not? Like, long term, it pays dividends, in my opinion. And so with the cryptocurrency, again, we had no business doing it, but we just planted the flag. No one else is doing it, so why
Yeah,
not
they
do
were
it?
all on the fence, kind of,
Mhm.
and you just took control
Yeah.
of that group.
And
And
so,
you
like-
asked, you said, "Hey, can I host one?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "Please."
Exactly.
We
And
haven't
so,
had one in a
same
while.
thing goes for real estate. If there's not a group of investors in your area, start a group, start a cash flow
If
go
you like
meetup.
Star Wars, have a Star Wars meetup. Doesn't matter.
Seriously.
Do something.
Have a James Bond
Have a
meetup.
Bond meetup. You're gonna meet people that then he's a banker, he's a car salesman, and you're just never gonna know, right?
Mhm.
And you're gonna have so much connections.
If you want to start a real estate meetup group, DM Jeff on Instagram and he'll set up a cash flow go meetup for your area.
Barry's called right now. I gotta set up a
Oh,
Barry.
okay.
Barry. So
So
Barry,
see, and the
guys
thing
just reach out to me, and then I make groups, and I put them in charge of it.
yeah,
So
and the thing is, again, a lot of people get nervous, like, oh man, I don't know if anyone's gonna show up to my first meetup. Yeah, that happens. We had the Cash Flow Go meetup in Windsor, and there was 5 people that showed up, including myself. that we had a fantastic conversation. That's how we met Cassidy, and that's how we now know Matt and Cassidy. And
The
they're
next
going,
time it'll be
and now
9.
we're shooting daily videos
Yeah.
with them, right?
Yeah, wait till the next meeting. It'll
Yeah.
be 11, then 22.
It spirals, and again, you gotta be patient, right? Like, if we were going for that right hook immediately, at winter, we'd be like, oh, screw it, only 5 people showed up, like, we're not doing it ever again.
Yeah.
Think about the opportunities we would have missed out on in that situation.
Exactly.
So just do it, guys, honestly. Please just start networking, get yourself a leg up, because you're only going to regret it in the long term. Recently, I was listening to the Kevin Rose podcast. I think it was episode 20, and he was interviewing I can't think of the guy's name, but anyways, this guy was going through he wanted to become a legal partner, like a lawyer partner at a firm, and so essentially he
Jordan Heibinger?
Yes, Jordan, yeah. And it was an amazing episode. I can't recommend enough. And he was talking about how, him and all the other associates were working so hard and they're working under these partners. And he knows that one partner almost never came into the office. He was like, what the hell? Like, dude, why? And he ended up having a coffee meeting with this guy and was like, dude, okay, what's up? Do you work from home? Why are you never in the office? And yet everyone still talks like you're a god. And it turns out he was a rainmaker at getting deals. So he was just fantastic at networking. And he wasn't going out to networking events where you trade business cards. He's playing squash with guys, or he's having scotch, or he's going out to games.
I always joke there's no money at the office, right?
Mhm.
You gotta get out there and meet people.
Yeah.
Right?
People are where the money is, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we just really want to reiterate that and really bring that highlighted, I guess, for you guys, because I think a lot of people think, oh, you know what, I don't even own any property yet, so I don't want to network.
Mhm.
That's the completely wrong mentality. You have no property. You
No,
need to
a lot of
network.
people did that. I'll get my first one, then I'll go out to the
Yeah.
meetings. What?
So you want to get a property, make a bunch of mistakes,
Don't
and then
tell
start
people
to
your
learn?
mistakes and then go, shoot. I should.
Why not learn from other people? Stop reinventing the wheels, guys. And the best way is through networking. So enough of my networking rant, but I just wanted to
Good
make
rant.
sure you guys realize it.
What else we got?
Yeah, so otherwise, just wanted to tease, we've just recently started mentoring one individual. Shout out to Adam Martin. We're mentoring him to become a wholesaler. We're hoping to make him a lot of money in the near future. So we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be the very first time we've really mentored someone one-on-one. So it'll be interesting to see how this dynamic evolves. New experience to us, definitely a new experience to him. He's never bought, sold, or owned a property. So to get him to become a wholesaler, I think it's going to be a fantastic journey for both him and us. So definitely looking forward to that. He was actually started February 1st. He's already knocked on 40 doors. It sounded like he already had a couple doors slammed in his face.
Oh,
He had one person answer the door naked. So he's already got some hella stories to share. And he's been vlogging the whole experience, so we're going to package that for you guys, and you can look forward to that in the future.
And if you're a young, hungry guy, girl, and you want the mentorship as well, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Especially in our city right now. So.
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, the reason that we're taking Adam on in this sense is he showed us that he's going to put in the work, that he's dedicated, that he's in this for the long run, that he's not trying to get rich quick.
Yeah.
He realizes that this is a long game.
Yeah. That no money down real estate.
Yeah,
It's not that easy.
yeah, you got to put in a lot of work. But speaking of that, there are still wholesale deals out there. We actually just locked down a wholesale deal verbally, so we'll get the paperwork under contract next week. But people don't think you can buy a house in London for under 100,000. False, because we're going to be doing it. So
Sounds like a gem.
it
Yeah,
is.
it's gorgeous.
Turnkey, move in ready. Just bring your clothes and you're good to go. No, it needs a new roof. The roof's leaking. It's small. There's no parking. It's perfect, guys. It's going to cash flow. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be able to burn. We should be able to get all the money out. Cash flow. What else do you want from an investment? So literally, the way that this deal came together is because we have guys out there that are grinding, right? They're looking for wholesale deals. They're knocking on doors. They're putting in the efforts. They're dropping flyers. They're making cold calls. They're doing rather than talking. So I've been doing too much talking. Jeff, what's up?
Well, we kind of mentioned that we have the cameraman, but it's pretty
Yeah.
much going to be somewhat of an assistant.
Yeah.
He's not a realtor, so he can't go open doors or anything like that, but he's going to be helping me out on a lot of small tasks. He's helping us out on editing some documents we have right now that we're going to be producing.
Mhm.
So taking care of a lot of those things right now. Also, I'll be doing every day in February a YouTube video, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty.
So definitely jump over to Jeff's channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit that subscribe button, but also ding that notification bell so that you know every single day when that new video
Sometimes
pops.
just I go live all the time. I did a live pre-Cash Flow to Go show.
Which I really enjoy live. I really like
Yeah.
live. It's very dynamic. I enjoy it. You never know exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. Sometimes I put my finger in front of the camera.
I do that every video
So,
still.
we're still learning. I've only been doing the YouTube since about like October or something like that.
Yeah, and you haven't really, like, you're just about to start going
So
hard.
now we're going hard. You know, if you want to do any collabs with me, let me know.
Actually, yeah, that was a big thing we wanted to ask. If there's other real estate investors that you guys want us to do collabs with, jump in the comment section and tell randomly interesting. We're going to make his life really hard. He's going to have to remember or copy them all down. But
Sorry, what am I remembering?
the people that we should be doing collabs with. So particularly, if you know a real estate investor in Ontario, or let's say within 10-hour drive of London, Ontario, hit us up. We want to do YouTube videos with them. We maybe want to do daily videos with our cameraman with them. We're
Even good real estate agent, investor-oriented agents.
Absolutely,
let me know,
yeah.
Right? So,
we just want to build this network. We think Ontario, like we've done something really special here in London, Ontario, and we want it to spread.
and don't think I'm holding out on the London, Ontario good investor agents as well. I'll be doing some collabs with some good ones as well in our market. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I think it'll be fun to document, because people
Team
already,
sport.
right? And people are going to see what a good investor real estate agent looks like, right? They've seen you,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to kind of show them the different flavors. So.
And it kind of gets back to the networking that we talked about.
Yeah.
But last night I went to an agent's party
Yeah, talk about
at a
that.
different brokerage where I was invited by a guy that we've done a lot of deals together
Mhm.
before. And I was like personally invited to the party. I started talking to other people from other brokerages. It's kind of nice to actually see it because we're in such a world of texting and digital
Mhm.
signatures. I said who I was to a lot of people last
I
night.
like this part.
Oh, you're Jeff Weigel. I've seen your signs everywhere. Like, because that's kind of just how it works now, right? Or,
Yeah.
You do those limo tours, right?
Yeah.
You're that guy. And then obviously, then my brother, we have the same last name, so it's kind of like if I'm marketing, they think I have his
Yeah.
listing and vice versa. So it works great for us.
Wimo everywhere.
Except for when they send me confidential stuff to my email when I meant to send it to Phil's. But
Congratulations.
congratulations.
You did not win the offer.
That's happened. So, but no, but it was fantastic. So, to any agents around the country, North America, start meeting some of the other agents because here's what happens, guys. They call you first and they tell you what's coming up on the market.
Mhm.
If you're a guy that can close deals, and then vice versa, you can return the favor when you know something's coming up. If I have stuff in my pocket, meaning it's not on the MLS, I'm gonna call the guys I know who can get it done.
The people you trust.
People I
you
trust,
know.
especially in the kind of investment properties that I sell and you walk through a lot, they're complicated. They have
Mhm.
5 units, 10 units, whatever. If we just put on the MLS, every realtor, I can screen them, but in our market, it's not like it's $1 million house and I gotta like really like look at your buyer's income statement.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to quickly see if that showing's a waste of time.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, certain agents will go through it and then they think it's dirty or something like that. And like, you can tell from the pictures before you get there. So
Yeah.
I would rather just tell it to the underground network a bit before we put it on the market, and then maybe we can get it done without having to do that. Win-win for the sellers. You didn't piss off the tenants.
Mhm. I think that's a big point, and so I recently just had video come out on private deals and talking about wholesaling and all that. And I think you've said this point a few times. I'm not sure if you said it on camera though, but the big thing is that when you're going to do a showing for that 10plex,
Yeah.
how many people are you potentially pissing off, right?
Yeah.
You're pissing off 10 tenants.
And then one more, or whoever partners, the landlord,
Yeah.
the seller.
Mhm.
Because if you don't sell the property, you just spent 60, 90 days pissing off all of the tenants,
Yeah.
and then they just go get pissed at him now.
Yeah.
Because they're like, another showing? What the hell?
And that's where if you have a group of real estate agents that you trust, you know that like when that guy or that gal DMs you, that like they're serious, that they're not going to like waste your time, that they're not going to show up to the door and be like, we didn't even go in the house.
Yeah.
And you're like, so I just pissed off everyone for no reason.
Yeah. Or, sorry, they couldn't make it like 5 minutes before. And you're like, okay, did you walk through? Did you take a video or
Right.
something? Or just like try to like pitch it to some other, like
Yeah.
do something.
Did you make the most of it? Yeah. Like the craziest thing is if their client cancels 5 minutes before and they don't walk through anyways, like they should know slightly what they're
Yeah.
clients looking for, right? Or they should have other clients.
So that's the frustrating part. But the bonus parts of knowing a lot of agents, even for like the limo tour,
Mhm.
I'll get phone calls
Yeah.
and they'll say, "Hey, I got this. Do you want to put it on your next tour?" That's
Mhm.
amazing.
That
That's
is.
a network that
Well, yeah,
happens.
like our last tour,
Yeah.
what we had like 3 that
Yeah.
were, or 4 that were pocket listings from different agents,
Yeah,
right?
shout out to Cloud and Mike. So
Yeah.
potentially you'll see some videos in the future with these guys. So.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
my brokerage. So like anybody who's like so like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to other
Yeah.
agents. It's not how it works, right? You kind of give and take.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I was invited to the party last night, right? And guess what? It was just all shop talk. So, and then some vegetables.
Scotch.
They had box wine and Heineken. So.
Oh, there you go. Compromise. Otherwise, one little thing we wanted to tease was we're going to be doing something big in the Q2. It's going to involve, I think, hundreds of real estate investors all congregating in London, Ontario.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Hundreds of real estate investors are going to congregate in London, Ontario for one weekend because of us. So that's all I can say
Let
now.
that sink in.
We gotta get some stuff locked down, but we're really excited. This announcement's
many
gonna come
people
out
heard
very
that?
soon.
I'm not sure. No one's replied yet.
No, but how many are in the chat?
Oh, well, we've got 18 people watching, 10 likes so far.
All right, well, 18 people watching,
Exclusive.
10 likes. I feel like you guys could smash the like button a couple more times and get us up to 18, but I'm bad at math, maybe. Otherwise, jump in the comment section. Feel free to hit up randomly interesting with your questions. We'll take a couple questions, but we definitely.
Oh,
This-
we got a couple more things we can
Yeah.
tease. The limo tour is going on location.
Oh yeah, forgot. Yeah.
So, not only are we going to be doing the limo tour in London, Ontario every single month, but it will be traveling, and I think we're going to be trying for one KW in February.
Are we doing February or March? It's
One of the
February
months.
now.
It's February now.
I think we're doing KW in March.
KW in March.
And Windsor in April.
Okay. So
That-
maybe some time.
And
then so-
maybe we're coming for you, Sarnia, in May. Look out, Dan.
And if you're from those cities, great, hop on it. And if you're not from those cities, let's say you're from London, come to these ones anyways. You can
Yeah.
quickly learn the market, right?
And honestly, like, there's a lot to be learned. Like, the way we started the Wild Limo Tour, I think probably a lot of our newer fans don't realize the story, but
Okay, yeah. So we went to the Kitchener KWC, and Sam Sidor, a realtor there, he was running one, and I think we hopped in the car here. Me and you went. There was another carload of like Kellen, I think,
And
Dylan,
Dylan, yeah.
and then some other people from London. So we were bringing like 6 people from London to
Mhm.
Kitchener. It was a quick way for us to learn the. Well, we were on the bus. It was on a school bus, okay, and it was a great day. But what I remember taking away was, just like in school, some people sat at the front, some people sat in the middle, and some people ran to the back. It wasn't like a day of learning
yeah.
just because of how a school bus is. So then it was a great day. Sam showed us some great properties, which were based more on appreciation than cash flow at that
Mhm.
time because.
And that's the way that market works.
Right. So that was really interesting for us to see, just being like only studying London. Then we're coming home, and I was like, me and you're like, we gotta like recreate this, and then I'm like, yes, but we're doing it in a limo because of me.
And at first that seemed crazy. Because we're like, how expensive is a limo? Oh my god, it's gonna
We
be
just
so
kind of like
expensive.
reversed it a bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure what the prices are going to be for the Kitchener ones and all that, but I know the London one is going to be February 25th. I don't have a Facebook group made for it yet, so it's February 2nd, so I better get on it. But Randomly Interesting and I have a meeting after the show, and there's going to be like a sign up page.
And you'll be able to PayPal,
You'll be able to
right?
PayPal at the very minimum on there. Eventually, we'll get into credit card, so that we're not trading any money. On
You can put their credit card in PayPal.
Oh, sweet. So,
And-
yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
And we'll also still accept cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, we'll have a little Bitcoin. And remember, we're kind of teasing it's going to be a bit different
Yeah.
than the times before. We're going hard, guys. We're finding you guys the private deals that aren't on the MLS. I'm networking with all the other agents, you know. So
Mhm.
it's not going to be, oh, I can just go book all the showing requests.
Yeah.
And then you can try to keep hitting me up Saturday night for what we're going to see the next day, but my lips are sealed, right? So,
Yeah.
we've been having like successfully big groups. It's just natural. We're gonna like up the price a little bit and like keep
Yeah.
it down so that you guys are getting like strict value. And it's 30 days of us finding private deals to put on the tour, pretty
Mhm.
much, right? So,
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of legwork that goes into it. There's a lot of effort. In addition to that, like as the Weibel Limo tour has grown, so has the number of private deals, right? It used to be 1 or 2 private deals, but now we're talking like 50% or
Yeah.
more consistently on every single
And so if
tour.
you're from another city and you want to see London, it's a great way to see London in 4 hours
Mhm.
on the bus, nice and warm during the winter, nice and cool during the summer.
Yeah,
You know, there's water. We have stuff. We stop for bathroom breaks. We stop
snacks.
for drinks, food,
Yeah.
and you see all the private deals. And
Yeah.
then you got us afterwards, like pretty much one-on-one.
Yeah, and so that's important too. If you're going to come out to the Weibel Limo tour and it's going to be your first one, definitely, you know, the actual limo part is usually from like 12 to 4-ish. But then we go and debrief at the local pub, and so definitely leave some time in your schedule to have a couple hours at the pub, because I think there's some really valuable conversations to go on there. It's really interesting because people start really debriefing and breaking out kind of, now that I've thought about it a little bit, I see how that triplex works. And speaking of the Weibel Limo Tour, there was a property that was bought off the Weibel Limo Tour, right?
Oh yes, on the last one, my brother put the deal together with a couple people that have been on the limo tour many times. I think they weren't on it, and some friends probably told them about it, or they were just looking, and they bought it. They got it for a decent price, and we'll see what kind of rents they get.
Yeah, because they were actually able to negotiate a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we can negotiate, so
Mhm.
that's pretty cool.
I know during the cryptocurrency meeting, Phil wasn't talking too much cryptocurrency. He was on the phone all the way till about
Is
midnight.
that what was going on?
Yeah, he was running around.
Oh, I
again.
wondered why
Yeah.
he was doing that.
He was
Okay,
doing the
that
deal.
makes sense.
So he had to stay in the zone for that.
Yeah,
But I guess we can also tease. So limo tours have traditionally been on the Sundays. I think we've done one on a Saturday.
yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Saturday?
Yeah, that is-
So we're hashing out the details. I'll still talk to Adam about what's going to cost or anything like that. But we will do like a couple one-on-one sessions on the Saturday, whatever we're going to call it, landlording 101. Kind of like you can. If nobody signs up, then we won't do it. And if somebody signs up, we'll do it. So
yeah, but the idea is it's going to be kind of like not exactly a lecture or classroom setting, but it's going to be us kind of talking through our experiences, sharing our perspectives and strategies, as well as letting you guys just kind of open up for Q&A with us, kind of, and one-on-one, if there's only one of you that comes, it'll be a 2-on-1, you know, like, it's, we're gonna see what happens. We're just trying things this year. This year's gonna be a lot of us experimenting. Last year was a lot of us, I think, just getting comfortable with the idea of
Right.
experimenting, almost like thinking outside of our comfort zone, and now we're actually going outside of our comfort zone.
So look for that in the groups and on the page and probably in the comments and on
Mhm.
YouTube. So and it'll just be like whatever our website is, cashflow2go.com.
Yeah.
Or is it show? Cashflow2go show.com, and it'll be / something. So also you can sign up for see if you can get that link and throw it in the comments.
Yeah, the
Make it
landing
big.
page.
Yeah, and you guys can sign up for the landing page. Saturday night we will have our free ebooks ready.
Oh yeah, this Saturday.
So we will pump that out to our mailing list right now. So,
Yeah, actually, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be fun.
So if you're not randomly interested, we'll copy that link, put it in there. You guys can open it up and put your email address in.
Yeah.
Whenever you get there, it's fine. All right.
YouTube cuts the links short, so
Do
every
they?
every time I paste them, they go in and then they get formatted and they don't work.
Okay.
So I'm just getting a
Bitly?
short link.
Okay.
Yeah, Bitly coming up.
So otherwise,
It is.
smash that like button if you haven't smashed it. Subscribe to both myself and Jeff if you're not already subscribed.
Hit some
and,
super chat.
and jump in. Yeah, if you want better audio. Actually, let us know though if you're enjoying this audio. Is this audio adequate in your opinion? But yeah, definitely jump in the comment section. Start asking us your questions, and we'll open up the floor to questions shortly. So
Yeah. And I think we were gonna say like when we did a lot of driving this week, so we're not gonna spend 10-15 minutes on the first question, and then
Yeah.
so like, we'll try to rapid fire your questions as fast as possible, like so that a lot of people can get a chance to ask a question, kind of, unless it needs 15 minutes.
prediction. One of the questions that's going to be asked is, what happens when you get 4 or 5 mortgages? You combine a corporation, you get strategic partnerships, or whatever.
The tax questions.
Yeah, tax questions come up a lot too.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, knock on wood. Actually, I think it would have happened today. I got all my student rentals rented out. That's pretty cool.
For May 1st.
For May 1st, yeah. You already had yours.
I'm good. There's one guy looking for a roommate, but
Yeah.
it's an easy place to rent. So.
How are you guys doing on your student rentals? Gotten fully rented out? Are you starting to sweat bullets? Usually what we really like to do is We rent from May 1st to April 30th. We've actually changed our technique a little bit. We're going from May 1st to like April 27th, and then that way we get a few days to kind of like, because almost April 30th is such a like, even when I try and hire it out, it still becomes a gong show because someone calls in sick, someone quits the day before, something happens, and so we're trying to give ourselves a bit more of a buffer next year so that we don't have quite the same
Well,
cluster.
you tried something different too. You asked for more rent this year.
Yeah, shout out Dan Warren. Dan Warren, you made me a bunch of money this year, so I appreciate that. We bumped our rents from $485 on the one, no, $475 on the one property to $5.25. We bumped another one from $485 to $500. We bumped another one from $435 to $460. So when there's 5 bedrooms in each house, like those $10, $15, $25, they do add up. So I like that. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because so when we're renting out our student rentals, we really focus on renting them out in January and February in order to get them rented out for that May 1st. A lot of landlords, I don't know why, but they push it off. I guess they're hoping that a tenant will magically fall into their lap and they wait until March. If you're advertising your student rentals in March and you're not advertising them like your hair is on fire, you're doing it wrong and you're in trouble. You're gonna get some shitty tenants or no tenants. And having vacancies in a student rental, no
You're
excuse.
screwed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No excuse, and you're screwed.
And shout out to Phil, just sold Roehampton.
Yep.
So-
Phil sold like 5 in a row. Like his
Oh,
Instagram
right,
story
yeah.
was like sold with all his good graphics and on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had a good week.
that's awesome.
I saw the video. Looked
Yeah, you
good.
saw that. Yeah.
So what are we saying? Anything going on in the comments?
Yeah, we're getting some comments in. It's actually been a little quiet today. There's some good conversations going on, not a lot of questions, but we do have a few queued up. We've got 20 people viewing right now, 13 likes.
Thanks, guys.
Do you guys want to jump into a question?
Let's do one.
All right, so we got a question from Kyle Ward 321. I recently purchased a fourplex in Ontario. One unit is undervalued for $700 a month. It should be near $1,000 a month. What actions do you suggest to raise the rent?
So in Ontario, the basic thing you can do is you can increase it by the minimum or the maximum amount, which is like 1.8 this year. So that's a tiny little bit. I know a lot of people think like, oh, like what's even the point of doing the paperwork for that? But you gotta remember that compounds over time, right?
I don't think we've ever covered it, but sometimes they could get fed up with that, and maybe they leave.
Yeah, like, and at the same time, realistically, in Ontario, there's not a lot you can do if the person doesn't want to leave. Obviously, you can try and negotiate with them. Graham Stephan in LA, like, it's pretty crazy what they'll do in LA to try and get a unit vacant. I believe he's offered up to $25,000 to get a tenant to move out, simply because he wanted to be able to renovate and get the rents up to fair market value. Obviously, that's a way different market, but I've offered $500 to $1,000 before in order to get the tenant to move on, or offer to pay their moving expenses, or sometimes they fall behind on rent and you just offer to forget the money they owe you if they move out, and then that way you can fix it up. Another alternative is you can try and make strategic renovations to the unit, renegotiate with the tenant. If they agree, you can increase the rents, right? So maybe you add laundry, a dishwasher, other sort of perks, kind of whatever you can do to maybe make it more beneficial. Maybe you already have internet to the building. Maybe you're house hacking and have internet in the building. Maybe you can offer them internet and you can get a little bit of money out of that. I know a lot of these strategies sound like nickel and diming, but those nickel and dimes will slowly add up. And if not, maybe it'll motivate your tenant to move on. You can always just ask too. But any other thoughts on that, Jeff? Or
And we've covered that a lot of times.
a few times, yeah.
Yeah, all right. We had a question going back to at the top of the show. You guys were talking about mentoring. Jesse Moser wants to know, could you mentor in the States? So, people south of the border.
Yeah, we definitely could, and
We're
I think we
setting up the
definitely will.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So yeah, definitely let us know if there's demand for that, and we can maybe try and speed up that timeline. But it is something we're interested in. Right now, we're just focused on replicating kind of the success we've experienced with other people in Ontario, kind of as a proof of concept, if you will. And then once we get that proof of concept, we're hoping to be able to share it with a lot more people, because especially when we're talking about the basics of real estate investing, or say wholesaling, or even being a real estate agent, a lot of those principles are almost universal.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a big takeaway, is that a lot of it can be applied almost regardless of the market you're in. So yeah,
So
Definitely.
yeah, just stick with us and we'll help you out in the near future. So.
Hang in there, Katie.
Awesome. Okay, we got a question here from Stephen Hickey. He's the guy who likes to tune in every week from the Montreal airport.
Appreciate it, Steven.
It's kind of an ambiguous question, but maybe we can kind of give him some
Sure.
gentle nudges in the right direction. So I'm looking at a three unit, and considering converting it into a fourth. Do you have numbers that you use to base a unit's construction on? And so I kind of mentioned in the comments that it's really situational on a property, depending on the layout of the design of the property. It sounds like he's got 3 units. They're all 2 of them are about 700 square feet. The one's about 1,500 square feet that he kind of wants to split in half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so the question is the cost, or
Yeah. Do you have a metric or a system that you use to like base on
what's going to cost?
what the renovation cost might be? Yeah.
It really does depend on kind of how high end it is. Like if you're adding a brand new bathroom, as a real, like just pulling it off the top of my head, I'd usually throw, if it's like not high end, if we're talking like lower mid range, I would be like 7,500, somewhere in that range. Adding a brand new kitchen, again, assuming that we're not going high end, 7.5 range. You're going to be throwing up some more walls, probably some more electrical work. It really depends though. If you're going to start rewiring the apartments in order to have them on separate meters, that's definitely going to add significant cost. So that's something to think of. If you're going to try and add a new heating source, right? If you want them to both be on different furnaces, that will significantly add to the renovation cost. Otherwise, you should definitely make sure you either figure out your municipal laws, your bylaws, so that you're not running afoul of maybe the zoning or bylaws in your area. Make sure that you can add that 4th unit, or if you can't, make sure that you're really comfortable with the risk you're taking on by doing it without the city's permission.
Also, if you have a contractor you use all the time, sometimes if you were trying to buy this one, take a video or go
Mhm.
live. Maybe he can give you a quick quote on the fly, kind of. You don't have to hold him to it, kind of thing. But I do that often.
Yeah.
Like even like yesterday, we were walking through big potential condos, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to like do how much that's going to cost in our head as
Yeah.
well. So it takes a lot of practice to kind of like know.
Man, this week's been crazy. I forgot we even did that.
We didn't cover it, but I
Yeah,
don't know if it was top
That's
secret.
crazy.
So, yeah.
I don't think anyone can even reverse engineer it. But yeah, yesterday we walked through a 26,000 square foot space that could be probably subdivided into 26 condos. You could sever 3 lots from the property and then build some new freestanding condos as well.
So we were doing math in our
5
head.
townhouses. And you're like, I wonder how much it would cost to build 26 houses, and then you sever the 3 lots, add the 5 new builds, and a couple $1 million, question mark?
Yeah.
So it can
So
definitely
super chat and we'll get that done.
yeah, we're going to need your help if we're going to do that. But what was crazy was that shell of the building we were looking at was like $300 and something thousand,
Yeah.
and you could probably negotiate pretty well on it. It's been for sale off and on for quite a while. But yeah, often what we do is you start with rough numbers and you start refining them. Because otherwise, if you start trying to with the minutiae, and you're like, a faucet costs me this, and I need 2 faucets because I have a bathroom and a kitchen, and like it can start to get really overwhelming. So I think it's a lot better to start with those really rough numbers and then slowly figure out the angles on it, right, and get more and more specific. I was trying to think, there's like that computer program thing where it keeps like adding like when you're trying to measure like an odd space, and it's like putting squares in a circle and smaller squares until you get it's a thing.
I don't know. Sorry, not yet.
He's been up all week. He hasn't slept.
Yeah, actually, I couldn't fall asleep last night either. I was like at that point where you're so tired that
so
you
tired
can't.
you can't fall asleep
Yeah.
because your head's still spinning.
Right? Yeah. Like.
Well, I was tired on the drive home last night, and then I got the second wind because I had to go to the networking event.
Right.
It's like then I was up again until late, and then up early again.
Yeah.
Although, you had Sarnia today, so
Yeah,
I won't
so
complain.
it's been a lot, but it's been fun too. Like it's honestly one of those things where you kind of lose yourself in the grind,
Mhm.
right? And it was funny. We were having lunch today with Dan and Sarnia, and he brought it up, and he was like, "Man, I wish someday I could be semi-retired like you." I was like,
As you're
yeah.
falling asleep,
right?
okay?
And then like Michael chimed in and was like, "I think Matt works a lot more than the average person does." I was like, "It depends on when you count work, but definitely seem to have to stay up a lot." But yeah,
Right on. You guys want to move on to the next
Yeah.
one?
yeah. Let's jump into another.
Inder, this is a generic question. Is London still a good market for multi-unit investors?
Yes. It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, right? I think if you're looking for appreciation, we've had significant appreciation for the last, definitely the last year, maybe the last 16 months. I anticipate that that's going to continue. I thought we were going to cool off this winter. I have egg on my face because I've been wrong about that. But I think that we're going to have a very hot spring still. What happens after the spring, I think it's hard to predict for appreciation, at least in my opinion. Everything still seems to be firing on all cylinders. We just had that announcement that Dr. Whatever, the pizza place,
Is
there's
closing
more factory
East
jobs. Yeah,
coming here.
there's a factory closing in New Brunswick,
Yeah.
and Dr.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
thing, whatever Adam just said.
Yeah.
There's more jobs moving to London because of that, so it's always nice to have one of those little announcements. So if you're looking for cash flow, you can definitely still get 1% rural properties. They're harder. You gotta look harder. Well, have we talked about the crazy English Street property?
The one I posted today?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not on the show.
So like literally, okay, let's rewind back to 2014. It was a simpler time. And people would flip a house once in 2014. So someone bought a property in the Old East Village in 2014 and they flipped it. Cool. They sold it in like 2016, someone else bought it. That person flipped it. And you're like, huh, that's weird. Someone flipped a flipper. And then 2017, someone bought it and they flipped it again. So now it's for sale. I think they originally bought it in like 2014 for like 100-ish, like maybe 140-ish is what it sold for, and now it's for sale for 350. So we've definitely seen significant force appreciation in certain neighborhoods. I don't know if you're going to see that trend continue much further. I think like 350 for a duplex in the Old East Village is really, especially on like a postage stamp lot, is definitely pushing the envelope, but it's interesting nonetheless. There was also that property, it wouldn't have been England, whatever the other one was, that another flipper flipped the flip. Like it's very interesting. So you can definitely still make money flipping properties too, if that's what the angle you're looking towards. If I was a flipper these days, I'd want to be in and out really fast. That'd be important to me. Simply because I don't trust how the market's going to stay this exuberant, this hot forever. I could see us cooling down. I'm not predicting a crash or anything, but like I could see a summer cool down. I'd like a summer cool down. Maybe I'm just projecting on that. But I definitely think that you can still make money in London real estate. Like that's why we still do the Waddle Limo tour, right?
Yeah, that's why we have all the off-market deals, so you don't have
Yeah.
to stare at those MLS ones.
And honestly, like right now, the supply is so limited on the MLS in London, Ontario. It's ridiculous.
Well, for most flippers, if it's on MLS, they're screwed.
Oh yes.
Because even if you offer properly, do everything you to make money, some guy, I won't call him an idiot, but he's an idiot,
Yeah.
overpaid and he'll never make a dollar, but yeah.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, so definitely private deals is where it's at. That's why we're focused so much on building our wholesale business. That's why we're doing some wholesale mentoring, simply because we need to create a giant pipeline of deals because we got all these buyers, all these people that want to buy and execute on deals, and we just don't have enough to give them. I mean, I wish we could find a sub $100,000 house every week, but we're not able to replicate that quite yet, but we're doing our best to try. So in summary, yes, you can definitely still make
And if
money.
you're a buyer, make sure you hit up Matt for
Yeah.
all the private stuff.
Yeah, and I think actually, I guess we'll tease this a little bit for the 18, 20 viewers. Actually, no, I'm just saying this to like the 13 of you that smashed the like button. The rest of you earmuffs.
16.
Okay, the 16 of you that hit smash the like button, awesome. The rest of you earmuffs right now if you didn't hit the like button. We're going to create a private Facebook group. Right now, it's going to just be free to join it. I don't think that'll be the case always, but it's going to document, it's going to showcase some of the wholesale deals we come across. Some of them you may be able to act upon. Some of them we're probably calling dibs on, and so we're just going to be showing you what's possible. But I think it'll be a great way to make you guys realize that there are opportunities out there in any market. I know earlier today I was talking to Dan in Sarnia, and he was saying, so Sarnia is a population of about, I think Dan was saying 50, 60,000 in the city, 70,000 if you count some of the outlying suburbs and stuff. Guess how many properties are for sale right now on the Sarnia MLS?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
This is like non-commercial properties.
Everything, I believe.
Oh, everything. 45 properties.
67 properties.
Okay, yeah, not very many.
67, and think about that. Those aren't 67 investment properties. Those are 67. So that includes McMansions, that includes shacks, that
That's
includes
crazy.
condos with HOA fees that are
Vacant
too
commercial
high.
stuff.
Yeah, vacant commercial. Like,
Tiny market.
he said that right now there's 3 properties that are on the commercial. 3 properties.
That's insane.
Like, and so like Dan was saying that like it's only private deals as far as he's concerned. There's no sense even looking on Realtor.ca in his opinion, Sarnia. And Sarnia
if you're
has,
a young hustler out there, make sure you contact Matt.
yeah,
If we could use your
absolutely. Oh, I'm so confused. I was like, we're about to be robbed. But yeah, so for the 16 of you that smashed the like button, I hope you enjoyed that little tease. So DM me on Instagram and I'll invite you to that Facebook group once I create it. We haven't quite got around to that yet, but shortly. And push me on the DMs and I'll do it faster probably.
Yeah.
Otherwise, did we want to mention, we haven't done yet, but we're gonna start an Airbnb meetup?
Yes, Airbnb.
Planting that flag.
Just keep
Can
planning.
I just chime in here? We got a
Yeah.
question from RVing We Go. What's your thoughts on Airbnb renting instead of normal renting?
Awesome.
Good
Well, first of
segue
all,
for you guys.
RVing to go. Appreciate you're constantly commenting on my videos. I love that. It sounds like I'm guessing you're maybe from Lucan, Ontario, because you've asked me about Lucan real estate. So I hope you enjoyed that response. I think in general Lucan's interesting, but Airbnbs, I think Airbnbs are here to stay in one form or another. Local governments are going to try and mess it up as much as possible. The local tourism industry is going to try and mess it up as possible because you got these giant hotels that paid a lot in infrastructure and they pay a lot in like that tourist tax or whatever, hospitality tax, kind of. It depends on jurisdiction, but often some of these hotels are paying like 15% because it's going into a pool.
And their tourism tax going up in London, Ontario.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't pay attention. Do you know what it is? Or?
No,
So
some
it's
percentage,
going up,
but
though,
yeah,
yeah, interesting. So that being said, I think that,
they're gonna be mad more.
yes, oh, for sure. And I think Airbnb could be volatile in the next few years, but I think we will find an equilibrium. The same way that Uber was very volatile for a while and seems to have found at least some equilibrium.
Put a
and-
sticker in the window. Airbnb.
Yeah, but
I always say make sure it just cash flows normally with just a normal tenant.
I think that's
And
the
then
best plan.
As soon as they shut it down, at least you're not only looking at the cash flow on Airbnb side.
yeah, because the big risk is a lot of these local governments, a lot of these local municipalities are moving towards models where you can simply only Airbnb your personal unit, not even the building you live in, the personal unit you occupy.
Yeah, so if you live in a triplex and you live in one, you can't do the other two.
Yeah.
It's gotta be your unit.
That's where a lot of the municipal rules seem to be trending towards. I don't think that that's a long-term solution. I think that that's just a band-aid solution. Same with like banning Uber in certain cities. It's really just a band-aid solution because some other company's gonna come up like a Lyft, right? And they're gonna figure out a slightly different angle where they can get around the rules. And the same thing will happen to Airbnb. So whether it's literally called Airbnb or becomes some slightly different, slightly tweaked business model, I think that it's definitely here to stay. But like Jeff said, I think that Jeff had the best advice there.
Cool. I've got 3 more questions. We got about 10 more minutes left on our
Awesome.
runtime here. So, question: do you guys have an opinion of the Barrie area market? No, we don't get up that
Yeah.
north very often.
I know
We are
almost
starting
nothing.
a cash flow to go group Barry, so one of the guys had reached out to me on that. And it's close to like the Muskokas and all
Mhm.
that, right? So
Yeah, it's very interesting.
and Jason Tudge owns student rentals in Barrie.
Oh yeah, he'd be a good one. Yeah, because I was gonna say there's some colleges and stuff, right? I would literally.
Let me just say,
somehow-
if you DM me, I can put you in touch with a guy that would know better.
Boom, networking.
Great answer. All right.
But otherwise, I was just gonna say, like, my understanding is Barrie is kind of a bedroom community, right? Like a lot of people commute to northern Toronto or to Toronto, the GTA in general from Barrie. So, like, does Barrie have a GO train?
Question mark?
If it's got a GO train, I think that's interesting. If it's gonna get a
They
GO
drive
train,
down to Vaughan and then they hop on the
Is
train.
that what they do?
To Toronto, I'm not sure.
get a GO train there.
Start knocking on City Hall.
That'll help your appreciation.
All right, we got a question here from Friendly White Guy. This is kind of a very income tax 101 kind of question.
Okay.
Do you pay income taxes on all the rent money or just the cash flow? So maybe some explanation on how.
Yeah. So let's talk about this because this happens a lot. So there's a lot of confusion. It's because a lot of personal finance gurus, a lot of real estate investors are really fast and loose with their terminology. So just breaking down things in general. So you're renting out a property and you're getting $1,000 a month. That $1,000 is gross rent. You're then paying $400 a month in cash outlays. So maybe you have to pay insurance on the property. Maybe you have to make a mortgage payment. Maybe you have to pay the utilities, whatever. You're paying taxes. That's a physical outlay. So now you have $600 net cash flow. However, let's say in that $400, part of that was $400 seems really low, but I'm sticking with my example here. In that $400, let's say that there's a $200 mortgage payment. Half of that mortgage payment is probably principal repayment. So that principal repayment is actually part profit. So you would have $1,000 gross rent, $400 in cash outlays, but you'd have to add $100 back because that's principal repayment, and that would leave you with net $700 net income. So you're going to pay taxes on the net income portion of it. Now, however, if we want to get really into the nitty-gritty details, you can amortize or depreciate the cost of that physical asset. So the building you own, the house you own, the government and most Western democracies at least have tax rules that will allow you to write off a portion of that expense, essentially to recognize that a building will slowly deteriorate with time. Like anything, nothing lasts forever. But essentially, so you'd be paying taxes on that $700 minus whatever your amortization or depreciation expense is. Often in Canada, we're talking about 4% of the, like on a declining balance basis. So if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty details on how taxes work in Canada in relation to rental properties, look up what's called the T776. And so that's the form that you're going to fill out when you file your taxes, or it's the form that your accountant, your bookkeeper is going to fill out for you on your behalf in relation to what your taxes are. And so in that T776, it'll show you the exact expense that you can kind of write off. And if you dive deeper on the CRA website, you can actually get descriptions and explanations of what's kind of included in that. And literally from that source, you'll have 95% of the knowledge that most tax accountants are going to have in relation to real estate rental properties. The only additional thing would be very specific case laws. And so that's a whole nother rabbit hole we won't go down. But in general, you're going to be paying taxes on the net income less the depreciation that you're able to claim if you choose to claim that depreciation. But if you want to ask deeper questions on real estate, tax questions, whatever, hit up Mitt CPA. He's a good friend of ours, fantastic accountant. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we got 4 more questions. You guys want to try and get through them all?
4 questions?
Sure.
All right. Another question here from Inder. What is within a few hours of the GTA with affordable rental properties? So.
Well, if you count London as being 2 hours, boom.
Then go to Windsor, then go to.
Yeah, so
Sarnia.
like if London seems like an obvious one, but there's places like actually I was just playing around on Realtor.ca earlier this week. Ingersoll. Ingersoll has some crazy cheap properties. We need to do a road trip there. I had no idea how cheap stuff was out there, but there's a lot of cheap stuff in the downtown core, and so I think that's a big takeaway. In a lot of smaller towns, a lot of the the older multifamily properties that are kind of in the urban environment where the old town was, a lot of those properties are still really cheap. A lot of them have been owned for a long time by aging landlords that have owned the property forever, and they've allowed it to kind of fall into disrepair. They're not renting it for market rent, so there's huge opportunities there. So I think places like Woodstock, Ingersoll, I've heard good things about Brantford. I don't know a lot about it personally. We know people that like to do a lot in like Tillsonburg, or one of the guys at the GTA meet up, Tavistock, was interesting. You also got places like Stratford, Orangeville. I think I've heard some interesting things. I think Bolton's getting pretty expensive these
And
days.
if they work at the Googles in Kitchener and everything, these are places that they can buy in and zip into Kitchener.
Yeah, like Stratford's so close to Kitchener-Waterloo. A lot of people will commute from Stratford to Kitchener
Right.
on a daily basis. Otherwise, a good friend of mine in Adams, randomly interesting, they own a rental property in Oshawa, and it sounds like they're doing well there. So Oshawa, Durham, it seems like you can get at least cash flowing neutral properties where you can house at. So that's a lot closer to the GTA than maybe some of the other places I said, particularly if you're on the east side.
And he asked 4 hours, so.
Yeah.
Right on. Cool. So I got a question here for Matt. What are the numbers on your first burr? How much did you have saved up for the project?
So my very
Yeah, 2
first
minutes.
burr, you can watch my entire playlist. So just look up Burring the Live Street. So I think that's the.
So
Mhm.
you gotta be really careful with that as well. I think so because
Mhm.
funny at the networking event last night, a guy said he was getting in trouble with RICO because listen to this: a person was going to jail. He needed to sell his house quickly. The realtor bought it, and then this guy went to our governing
Oh.
board to say that he beat him up too
Wait.
much on the price.
A guy that went to jail
Yes. Well, obviously,
was untrustworthy.
okay, maybe there's some red flags before that. So I think just as a realtor, be careful. So.
Yeah, so definitely like in each region's going to have specific rules, so read and know your region's rules well. Or like you can reach out to the board, right, and ask too.
Mhm.
They're probably going to be
Or
really
your broker,
negative Nancy's,
right?
but yeah.
and sometimes a broker could just say no right away, and because it's new, and that's
Yeah.
any job, not just in real estate,
Mhm.
right? You ask anybody anything,
Yeah.
and if it's outside their
Yeah.
comfort zone, they'll just say no.
No, it's easy
Like-
to say
Or
no.
like when we joke about the mortgage brokers or bankers
Yeah.
sometimes, right?
Yeah.
They'll just say no, but wait, or can you get vendor take back? No, wait, what is that?
Yeah.
So that's mine.
All right, last question. First, it was like a comment from A. Bush. He says that he's reading ERE and he says it's amazing.
Awesome. I appreciate
Can
every
you use
single
this link?
every single person that does DM you when like their favorite page in the ERE book on Instagram or Snapchat. I love that. I really do like it. Keep doing it. It makes my day.
All right, and this is maybe going back his actual question, jumping back to the top of the show again. Are you guys planning anything upcoming in the KW area?
Yes, February 6th.
Yeah.
There, so
Tuesday-
plug your plug.
So
That's the last question.
That's as close as we can
Moose
get.
Winooski's on Tuesday night. It's in the Facebook Cashflow Go group right now. So.
Yeah, so just join the
Kitchen.
Facebook Cashflow Go group. If you can't find it, I know some people have had trouble, just DM Jeff on Instagram, he'll send you a link. Otherwise, you can find it on meetup.com as well.
Yeah.
So lots of ways to stumble upon our Kitchener-Waterloo meetup. We're very excited for it. We're hoping to get good groundswell. Matt Pichet, the Fruitful Investor, is going to be out. Our good buddy Sam will also.
Sam's door, yeah.
So two amazing real estate agents that are also investors themselves will be there. They're locals.
You just want to go and meet, see Matt's story, what he's up to.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fascinating.
we were just talking to him, and Matt's had a little bit of lifestyle inflation. He originally wanted to make $10,000 a month in passive income. Now he's doubled it, 2xing it. He wants to make $20,000 a month in
Yeah, so
passive
if you want
income.
to learn how to make 20 passively, you might want to come out to that.
Yeah, he might be your man.
A. Bush is going to be there, he says.
Awesome. We look forward to it.
Bring a friend.
Yeah, bring two. All right. Well, appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the show. Smash that like button if you haven't. I hope there's more than 16 of you by now that have. Hit Jeff's subscribe button. We're trying to get Jeff to 1,000 subscribers so that he can start making bank off of YouTube. And he needs to get 4,000 hours watched. So just open up a couple of incognito browsers. Let it just run for a few days. We'll get them there. I appreciate it, guys. And until next time, remember, making money's a team sport. There's more than enough money out there for us all to make it. But if you're not saving it, what's the point? Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.